What time is it where you are right now? Is it night? Are you lying there alone, phone in your hand, surrounded by people in your life, and somehow still feeling empty? I have friends. I have family. So why do I still feel this lonely? If that sentence hits something inside you, then you're in the right place. And no, you're not crazy. In 2023, the U.S. Surgeon General Vivek Murthy declared something America had never officially recognized before. He called loneliness a public health epidemic. 58% of Americans say they feel lonely, even when they're around people they love. Chronic loneliness is considered as harmful to your health as smoking 15 cigarettes a day, and nearly 30% of young adults between 18 and 34 say they don't have a single close friend they can truly rely on. Not homeless people. Not people isolated somewhere far away from society, people with jobs, people with packed schedules, people with phones full of social media apps and 500 Instagram followers. And still, nobody to call at 2 in the morning when life quietly falls apart. There was a Harvard study in 2021 that interviewed 2,000 adults. The question was simple. Do you have someone you can truly talk to? 36% answered, no, not sometimes, never. So why is this happening? Why are we, supposedly the most connected generation in human history, feeling more alone than ever before? The answer lives inside the brain, and it's more complicated than people think. Every time you open Instagram and someone likes your post, your brain releases a small hit of dopamine, the neurotransmitter tied to reward and instant gratification. Over time, your brain starts learning something dangerous. Virtual connection equals emotional reward, and eventually your mind begins to prefer it because it feels safer, faster, easier, less risky than sitting in front of another human being and allowing yourself to be vulnerable. Anna Lemke, the author of Dopamine Nation, calls this the never-ending cycle of stimulation without satisfaction. You keep scrolling and scrolling and scrolling, but something still feels missing because the thing you actually need was never inside the phone to begin with. There are two kinds of loneliness. The first is physical loneliness, nobody around you. The second one is far more painful, emotional loneliness. You can sit in the middle of a crowded room and still feel like nobody truly sees you. The human brain was designed to panic when it feels disconnected from the tribe. Thousands of years ago, being separated from the group meant death. So when you feel emotionally unseen, even while surrounded by people, your nervous system reacts like you've been abandoned in the wilderness. Pause for a second. Can you feel? So then there's attachment. John Bowlby, the psychologist who developed attachment theory, believed that as children, we build emotional maps based on how people respond to our feelings. If you grew up hearing things like, "Stop crying," or "You're too sensitive," or if the adults around you were emotionally unavailable, your brain learned something very early. Your emotions are inconvenient, so you adapted. You became good at hiding them. Too good. So good that eventually nobody realizes you're struggling anymore, not even you. And then comes the most dangerous stage of all but emotional numbness. After being lonely for too long, the brain starts protecting itself by shutting parts of you down. It's not that you feel nothing. It's that everything starts feeling distant, muted. Nothing hurts deeply anymore. But nothing feels truly alive either. You exist in this strange middle space where you're not fully sad, not fully happy, just surviving. Bessel van der Kolk, author of The Body Keeps the Score, describes this as secondary loneliness. You become so used to not being understood that eventually you stop trying to explain yourself at all. And slowly, you become a stranger to yourself. Let me tell you about someone. We'll call him M. He's 28 years old, lives in a big city, works in tech, stable income, nice apartment, weekend dinners with friends. From the outside, his life looks completely fine. But every night after work, he sits in front of his screen feeling this unbearable emptiness he can't explain. He opens his phone. Nothing. New. He closes it, then opens it again. Still nothing. He did that 47 times in 1 hour. He counted. Have you ever done that? M doesn't lack people in his life. What he lacks is the feeling of being truly seen. Those dinners with friends are fun. But does anyone ask him what's really going on inside his head? Does anyone remember he's secretly terrified because his father back home is sick? He doesn't bring it up because he doesn't want to feel like a burden. And that might be the cruelest part of modern loneliness. We feel lonely because we're terrified of bothering other people with our loneliness. Modern Western culture, especially in America, has turned independence into a kind of religion. Be strong, be independent, handle everything yourself. Need nobody. That's what success is supposed to look like. But human beings were never built that way. We are social creatures. Our brains evolved in tribes, in shared spaces, in communities where people slept together near the fire, ate together, suffered together. Loneliness is not weakness. It's a biological signal telling you that something deeply human is missing. And here's the painful truth. You are not lonely because you're unattractive, not because you're broken, not because you're too much. You're lonely because the world we live in was never designed to nurture deep connection. It was designed to maximize productivity, consumption, performance. Then COVID happened, and suddenly humanity discovered something scientists now call skin. Hunger. The body literally needs physical touch. A hug, a hand on your shoulder, a moment of warmth from another human being. Without real touch for long periods of time, cortisol, the stress hormone, rises while oxytocin, the bonding hormone, decreases. We are starving emotionally without even understanding what we're hungry for. Think about that for a minute. I don't have a perfect solution for you. Nobody does. And anyone trying to sell you 5 easy steps to never feel lonely, again, is probably selling something else too. But this much I know. Loneliness is not healed by more plans, more parties, more followers, more distractions. It's healed by depth. One honest conversation. One moment of saying, I'm not okay. One person willing to stay long enough to ask, no, really, how are you? Researchers from the long-running Harvard study of adult development spent more than 80 years tracking people throughout their lives, trying to answer one question. What actually makes a good life? And after decades of research, they came to one conclusion. It wasn't money, it wasn't fame, it wasn't achievement. It was the quality of close relationships. Not quantity. Quality. So maybe today, not next week, not when life calms down, not when you have time. Today, maybe you text someone you genuinely miss and simply say, hey, I've been thinking about you. How are you really doing? No perfect timing, no special reason, just honesty. And if you're listening to this at 2 in the morning, sitting alone in the dark, feeling like nobody truly notices your existence, I want you to hear this carefully. I see you. Not the version of you that performs all day for other people. The real you. The exhausted, overwhelmed, quietly hurting version sitting here right now. Feeling lonely does not mean you are unlovable. It only means you're missing something every human being needs, and almost nobody ever teaches us how to ask for. Maybe it's time we start learning. Starting tonight.